Kristina Wong is a defense and Pentagon reporter for The Hill. She joins us from our Washington bureau. Kristina, this is the largest mobilization of Iraqi forces since the U.S. invasion of Iraq. Why is Mosul such an important city in the fight against ISIS?
Well, first of all, Mosul is the second largest city in Iraq, and it is ISIS's caliphate in Iraq. And it's one of the first major cities that ISIS took over in 2014. And so taking back the city from ISIS would be a huge victory for the U.S. and coalition and Iraqi forces.
And we're hearing reports, and you can tell me if this is true or not, of human shields potentially being used by ISIS in this battle for Mosul. Has the Pentagon responded to that, and can they confirm that?
The Pentagon says it's seeing reports of civilians being used as human shields, and it has no evidence to suggest that it's not true. The Pentagon also said it's seen a report that civilians are forcibly being dressed in Iraqi army uniforms and executed for propaganda purposes. And they believe that that's true. And if so, I mean, that's quite alarming.
We have heard reportedly from the EU Security Commissioner Julian King saying that everyone in Europe should be prepared for a wave of ISIS militants to possibly stream into Europe. He estimates somewhere around 2,500 ISIS fighters may have EU citizenship. How concerned is the Pentagon about that as well?
I think that's more of a far-off concern. Immediately, ISIS fighters are expected to flee west. There's reportedly a corridor left open for them to flee either abroad, but most likely into Syria. They're expected to flee into Raqqa. Right now, though, Pentagon officials say they don't see a lot of fleeing either by ISIS fighters or civilians, and that is worrying that civilians are not able to get out. There are estimated to be 1 million to 1.5 million civilians still left in the city.
We heard President Obama say that the fight to retake the city will be difficult. It will take some time. Has the Pentagon started talking publicly about the day after liberation? What are their plans? Because as we saw in Iraq, it's the day after that often ends up being a significant issue for progress in the future.
I think that is a major concern, what will happen when Mosul falls. I think, though, officials now are cautioning it'll be a difficult fight and it'll take a while. Previously, you saw statements of it falling as soon as a couple of weeks. I think now they're estimating months. I think they're estimating that because you're seeing resistance being put up by ISIS fighters. ISIS fighters have had months to prepare for the offensive. They're lighting obscuration fires in order to prevent coalition airstrikes. They are employing suicide bombs, car bombs, doing what they can basically to make the fight more difficult.
Kristina Wong, thank you for joining us from The Hill.
Thank you for having me.